Hello and welcome to another Art in Conversation as part of NOVA, National Association of Women Artists series. Our today artist and NOVA member is Fleur Palau. Fleur, welcome to our conversation.
Thank you.
We are glad that you are here with us today and welcome you to our conversation. Would you please start by telling us a little bit about yourself as an artist, what you do, how you became interested in art, as in how you started as an artist and artwork.
Oh, well, I guess I was lucky in a way because my mother was a fine artist and she had devoted her life to it. And my father was an architect. So both worked for themselves and they were always, home. There was a studio extension from my mother, and my father had his drawing room to designing, residential buildings mostly. And so that was sort of the context of my beginnings. And I
So
never
you
thought of
would
doing
somehow
anything else
follow your parents' footstep
without realizing it.
without realizing.
Their world was my world, as all children have that context of their parents, but mine lived for art, and the house was full of music and books and discussions. So it was a whole world. And as I grew up, when I was 13, I started thinking, what do I want to do? Even though all I did was draw, but I was unconscious of the fact that that was special because everybody else was doing it. And I thought, well, I love clothes. Of course, all girls love clothes. So I'm sorry to be sexist, but we do. I guess men do too. Anyway, I'm trying to be contemporary now. um, I said, "Oh, Mom, I'd like to be a fashion designer. I love clothes. It's like a sculpture for the body." And she said, "Well, that's good. Maybe you'd like to take some lessons with me at the studio." She had an entourage of people she taught privately in a studio. At that time, she had a studio apart from the house, and I said, "Well, yeah, I'll try it. It's good to know how to draw." And I took one lesson, one charcoal and on a paper, just simple little still life. And I never turned back. I mean, it formalized my thinking into thinking, oh my God, this is unbelievable. It was as if all the clouds were taken from my eyes and I saw the whole world as light and shadow and composition and texture. I suddenly the world was an abstract and it was like an abstraction of itself. I became like just a viewer of it. And it was so exciting. I'll never forget that moment. And I went to her and I said, I want to be an artist. And she said, okay,
No,
well,
no, no.
no, I never had that typical thing where, the society is terrified of artists. No,
Yeah.
this was, I know what you're saying because everyone I know, in fact, later I taught from the studio up here. Well, I've taught in different places, but, the one story I remember, this child was like 8 and I just let him paint, let them, yeah, I don't want to be too overwhelming with these people with abstraction, with academics. So, 8, 9, 10, let them just. So he just did a corner of the studio. He just painted it, a little tiny canvas, black and grays and whites it looked like a Brock to me. It was so fabulous. So I made the mistake of scaring the parents because I was too enthusiastic. And, I, to their horror, I told them, he's got a natural ability and a natural eye, and he's very creative. I think he could be, he could really be a painter. He could be an artist. He is an artist. And they were like, thank you very much. Well, I never saw them again. So
Yeah.
I'm so
No.
sorry. I'm so sorry. The
Yeah.
culture just doesn't
Yeah, I
prepare.
mean, any culture, unfortunately, they even
Yeah,
today, because they don't see art as a job, as a future.
exactly. Money.
Unfortunately, not many artists make money out of art. So,
No, this has
it,
been non-lucrative.
yeah, I mean,
I
art,
do sell my work.
yeah,
I've gotten to a certain level, and it's up and down. It's a roller coaster. So, but it's like a vocation. You don't really, once you get the bug, you cannot live without it. So
Yeah.
there are.
So
I mean, at least I have a rich life. I'm not rich monetarily, but I'm not
yeah,
poor either.
yeah, I understand. So what type of art you do
Well,
in terms of medium, in terms of subject,
oh
what?
yeah. Well, I've evolved over years and years and years. And it's
What
kind
you
of
started and where are you now, I should say.
oh, well, I went to the National Academy of Design after high school and worked with I learned with a lot of fabulous artists, Gaetano Cecere for sculpture, Adolf Bloch. I mean, I just want to name drop a few people because I love their work and they were mentors to people. They were wonderful at expressing verbally what you almost can't, you know. So and Robert Phillips for painting, my mother, Mary Rose Palau, have to name some names. um, so I evolved from a kind of conservative background, and you probably still see it in the work
Yeah.
because the aesthetic decisions are pretty. Um, I'm not breaking any boundaries here, but I still think I'm creating something beautiful, and my themes range from portraiture. Landscapes sounds boring, but you have to look at what I do with it. And lately, well, the last 20 years, I've been working on my theme with rabbits because I had a pet rabbit I got from my son. And
Okay.
we fell in love with him. He became a member of the family. And his little personality he got into all the paintings
Yeah, I
until it
mean, I
was,
see in your website also you have one section about rabbits.
yes, I have that theme, the
My
rabbit
question was
theme.
why you are obsessed, kind of. Not obsessed. I shouldn't say, use
I'm
the
not
word
hey,
obsessed,
hey, art
but
is an obsession, so
yeah.
it's okay.
But I was my when I saw this, I said, why there is one whole
What?
section about rabbit? Of course, rabbit are cute, right?
No,
Yeah. So
it's no, they're symbolic. They've been used quite a lot in a in a different
yeah,
way. I mean,
and through
Giorgione, you
art
can
and
see rabbits
literature,
in Titian. You know, they have a symbolic thing to them, but I've kind of explored them in my own way,
yeah.
um, and then now I'm doing more. I call them humanscapes. Where the human being is a symbol. It's all
Yeah.
symbols,
Okay. So I
and they're
yeah.
not portraits. And then I've got rabbits in there. Oh yeah, these are the figurative pieces, and rabbits are in there. And so I have here the human is the main subject with the supporting landscape and the
Okay.
supporting rabbit. And before I had the landscape with maybe a supporting rabbit, and then before that I had the rabbit with this as the main. So I'm kind of weaving three different themes together, and
Okay.
it
Yeah,
makes it
where ones
interesting.
become the main and then the other become minor in other groups.
Yeah,
But yeah, okay. So
yeah, so it's sort of I'm never bored.
yeah, well, well, beautiful, beautiful work.
Well, thank you so much. Oh, this is a recent one, the moonlight. I miss Italy so much. I lived so many years there, and I still go back as much as I can, but um
That's why you
the
have a lot of
symbol.
grapes also
Oh,
on
well, yeah, I
other.
got really interested in that recently. Those are all really recent. We have the vineyard, and the grapes seem like timeless things to me, life itself.
Okay.
So I love that, the grapes, and
Yeah,
yeah,
okay. So
so
let's
ephemeral,
see
it's
let's see
so ephemeral.
some of the work more in detail, and if you don't mind, just explain like what this art are about and what inspired you for this work that I have them in this slide.
Oh, like this particular piece.
Yeah, and then
This is Palaio. We went down from it's just south of Pistoia, in the middle, sort of, it's just Tuscan
okay.
countryside. And it was the fall, what was it? August. So we were just driving, and I spied down below this valley with this tapestry, which is what I painted. I was pretty I was pretty faithful to the subject. I mean, because it almost looks like a woven carpet that someone well, God created it, but anyway, whatever.
Yeah.
The humans nurtured it to form this kind of broken up tapestry. I just loved it. I've painted this scene a few times. So I took a bunch of photographs because nobody had time to let me set up and paint. So I took a bunch of photographs and been using those ever since. And I return there as much as I can because I love it. It's
Yeah.
beautiful there. So,
So that's
oh,
from
this,
more landscape, and this is more from humanscape.
yeah, the humanscape. This is one of my favorites because of the abstraction, the figures, the way they are meshed together. And I love those feet that it's very stylized. It's very stylized. And the perspective, you're looking straight at the figure, which is floating in space. You look down to the river and up to the hills beyond. So I have 3 points, and it's one of my favorite ones.
Okay.
What it means, that's for many people to I don't like to rob people of their own response and relationship to each piece.
Okay.
But for me, it has to do with mother and son and the mother, that relationship. I'm not very good at analyzing because I don't work from the
Do you
intellectual
are
start.
they like Asian, Greco-Roman, for example?
Yes, there is that
Uh,
influence.
that
Yeah.
inspired you? Are
Oh,
you?
yeah. Of course, the antique world is
Yeah.
just
I mean, when I see
fabulous.
this work, and in particular the one with a lady with rabbit, right away it takes me to the idea of Venice and Aphrodite
Oh,
because, like, you know,
did you say Venice?
yeah, Venice and
Yeah.
Aphrodite, Greco-Roman, and which is the idea. Often you shows Venice. One of her symbols was like love, and of course
Hmm.
rabbit, right? White rabbit, white dove. So her,
Purity. Yeah, purity.
yeah,
Wonderful.
my interpretation was right away before I talked to you was that kind of perhaps you inspire from the myth of Greco-Roman.
Oh, Venus,
And then,
you're
yeah, and then
saying.
right now I see, like, when again this one, it's very similar to Venus and Mars, the god of war,
Oh, yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
the goddesses of love, because the
Mm-hmm.
mother. And always Mars shows with closed eyes.
Yes.
Venus shows with open eyes.
Oh,
So this
yeah.
was,
How interesting.
yeah, this actually was right away my interpretation of this
I
one.
love that.
Yeah, and I said,
It's interesting because, well, I have another idea too that after I looked at it, because after you create it, you let some time go by and then you look at it and it tells you things.
yes,
And I thought, oh, this looks sort of like the flight to Egypt, Ishmael with Hagar.
yeah, okay.
I thought of that after the fact,
Yeah.
but there are all kinds of things you can extrapolate from an image. So I love hearing what you thought. That was great.
So
Interesting.
when before you painting something like that, do you have the concept, the idea, or you just start painting? How something like this started?
Oh, well, I said it's kind of
Where you get
embarrassing
the
because
idea, I should
it's
say.
really simple. I just say, oh, I want to do two figures floating. Okay,
Okay.
I want to do that. And then I do a bunch of drawings and I had originally he had the guitar. I mean, it was a totally different concept. And it evolved. Well, the guitar, I couldn't make it work. I said, no, 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 no. So you kind of go on and on until you crystallize it into something that you're happy with and compositionally, and the figures feel going together. And um, yeah, and so after a few drawings, then I'm saying, okay, I photograph it as I go. So I do have pictures of this, the beginning blue and white. I would start with a red ground on blue and white. This is
Do
oil
you
painting.
are they a real model? Did you use
No, oh,
okay,
nobody would do this. Nobody could do it. I think anatomically, my son is a personal trainer. He's also a musician,
okay.
Julio Palau. And he looks at these and he says, Mom, as a personal trainer, he
Yeah.
said, anatomically, he couldn't do this. I said, well, that's fine, Julio.
Yeah, you don't
I
go
don't
for that.
care. I'm doing it on purpose. I'm making a statement. I'm distorting to make a statement. And he said, oh, well, it just doesn't work anatomically.
Yeah, I understand, right? You see
He
the
keeps
arm,
his point.
but that's your style,
Well,
you
it's
you
it's art. I don't want to copy. I'm not interested in copying something that's already existing. First of all, yeah, you can't. No,
Yeah, you can
no.
make your own unique.
That's what's
Person.
exciting about it to
Yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah. I
I might be on
understand.
the wrong track. I don't
Yeah.
know. Oh, and here's an example of the preliminary drawing with the actual finished piece
Okay.
in oil on canvas. So you have that, yeah.
Okay. So this
So
shows how you started from perhaps like, uh,
yeah.
this.
Hmm.
So you do the drawing and then you put, oh, what type of oil? Are they oil or acrylic?
Oh, these are oil. I'm used to oil because I can mix on the canvas. I can play around with it more than acrylic dries so quickly.
Yeah, yeah. I like the permanence of oil too. I often work with oil because you can put
Really?
layer and layer and layer.
Yes, I love doing that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can see how the original changes a little bit. And this is 1/3 of the original, so I had to scale it up, you know.
Okay. So
Yeah.
how large are these? Because I don't have any dimension for.
Oh gosh, let me think. I think it's 54 by 22 inches, the oils.
Okay, so quite large then.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah.
It's fun. Let's hope they sell.
Yeah, definitely.
I am always eventually find people that love it. Oh, yeah, this is the same thing. Here's the original charcoal on brown wrapping paper. I
Okay.
buy a roll of wrapping paper and then um, the oil
So this is
painting.
the concept, and then you transfer it into canvas in
Yeah,
this.
and you can see it changes a bit. I added the rabbits. What did I do?
Yeah, yeah.
I
The
solidified the
dog slightly
flowers.
twisted. Okay. All right.
Hopefully
So
the dog is
what's
better
the
in the oil.
idea about this painting?
Oh,
What was the concept in a sense?
well, it was basically I wanted to do something bucolic, something in nature, people relaxing, communicating, um, like a déjeuner sur l'herbe with with clothes on and no picnic.
Okay.
I don't know. I just like to make jokes, but
Yeah, yeah.
anyway. And then we have the church, you know,
The background. Okay.
the background is like it's always there, that consciousness, the spiritual consciousness.
Okay.
And
So that's
she's
reference
sort
to
of
the
bored.
spirituality and okay.
What?
I said that's reference to that spirituality or
Yes, yes.
fate or like, all those.
Yeah, we could debate that, but that's how I leave it that way. And the trees are kind of tortured creatures to me, and the flowers are witnesses to the scene. If you look at them closely, they look at you. There's some looking at them, some looking at you. To me, they're
Okay.
little like a chorus. They're a chorus in a musical piece. I love
Yes.
music, and I always listen to Handel. The last
Okay.
2 years, he's written over 100 operas.
Oh
So
my
I will never run out. And I
God.
love his music so much. And it does inform the work, I think, definitely.
So art is all around you, the whole
Oh,
family.
yeah. I continue to relive my childhood my entire life.
That's awesome. Beautiful.
Oh,
Beautiful
isn't it
life.
silly?
And again, rabbit, right? I see your I don't know if I'm allowed to say obsession with rabbit.
Obsession, yes. Yes, these are playful, and the expression to me of the rabbit creates a little irony. They're not sweetie cutie things, I never see rabbits that way. I know people do, but so I just love the Eiffel Tower. And I thought, as you notice, I love to have creatures and people flying. I don't know why.
To give it life, in a sense, when you put life within, like, a man-made object, like just,
Yeah.
right? When you include animal, human, you make it alive, coming alive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. You're right. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So, in
So,
a sense, you create this seriousness of landscape or cityscape with a touch of like animal rabbit, which is makes it a little bit like, um, how to say that makes it fun in a sense.
yes. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. There's a playfulness to it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
playfulness in a sense, right?
which is
With that
nice.
seriousness. So you connect this to and I see like, the cityscape is not exactly as it is. So it's not
You
represent.
noticed.
yeah.
I
We
have
could,
another one like this with different perspective of the Eiffel Tower. I just sold it, so I missed it. After a few years, I did this because I missed the other painting, but I never do anything the same way twice. And you are right. I move the bridge. I do things. It's impossible that the Eiffel Tower would be.
yeah, the
Oh
person.
well, it's okay. I
Yeah,
just
yeah,
do
that's
what I.
fine. That's about you and how you observe it. I put
Yeah,
like things together, right, to make
I
it.
know, and it's a moment of
These are the
freedom.
things
I
that is,
think. Yeah.
yeah, they are impossible in a real life. So you try to,
No,
you know,
but
yeah,
we're all constricted by the realities of the social structure, the political structure, everything. So being in the studio, I'm only limited by my own abilities,
yeah,
you
oh,
know, and
yeah,
I love the freedom of it. And it was like my studio is my little dream place. And I wish everyone could do it and would, and everyone can do it. This is
yeah,
the thing.
yeah,
It's the process. It's the experience of doing this creative thing that is so good for the soul. And I really hope people gave themselves that
yeah,
in their lives, whether it's music or writing or anything. We are creative creatures. So I
yeah.
did want to say that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We are all, in a sense, I don't know, again, I'm allowed to use the word gods because gods are created, right? God's
Yes,
reference to creation. So we are God and goddesses, right? We
that's
create,
true.
and
Oh,
our creation are unique. So, so then as creator, we are allowed to, like,
yeah.
fool around, play around,
Play is
melt and
important.
combine and, compare and contrast. So that's the thing makes us unique.
You're right. You're
Yeah.
right.
So,
It's important for people to realize it.
yeah.
And that's why I hope parents will always let their children create and encourage them to do it. And don't be afraid.
Yeah, don't be afraid of
They
mess
may
making. Right?
they may become lawyers, but they'll always have that playful corner of their lives,
Yeah.
you know?
I'm
Doesn't
saying
exclude.
don't be afraid to because kids when they become creative and they want to experiment, they create mess. I myself, I have one of them, 7 years old, and
Oh,
when I come
cute.
home, yeah, I mean, paint is everywhere,
I
right?
love that.
And she also like experiments like science, mommy. And she take this coffee bean, mix it with what? I mean, it's
Great.
mess.
That is
And
wonderful.
yeah, and then my husband said, "Oh, look at it." I said, "Oh, if she wants to experiment, let her experiment as long as it doesn't harm
Yeah.
herself
Yeah. Do not
or
set the house
something."
on fire. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. The rest gonna be fixable. I can just clean it and put the mess. So that's
exactly.
if we are not afraid of mess, that's we should let them do.
Look at Jackson Pollock. I mean, out of mess comes a masterpiece,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know. And I taught in school one year in Italy, the little children art, and I set up this long roll of brown paper, which I always love. And I got the paint, and the school was so terrified that the children would make a mess. And I said, look, whatever they do, I will clean it. Never mind, let them enjoy trying something. So I gave each child a little part of it to do, but they could collaborate with each other. They made a whole huge long mural and they had such a great time
yeah,
collaborating. And my son was there too as a student, and he kept mixing. He was obsessed with mixing until, if you put enough colors together, you get kind of a neutral, which some people call mud. And
yeah,
he said, Mom, look, this is ugly. I said, no, that's not ugly. That's a neutral. You can use that. Use it and then put something bright near it, and you'll see how the brightness comes out beautifully from the neutral. That's a neutral. But he couldn't stop mixing, so he never
yeah.
really did. He just
Well,
mixed.
yeah. My daughter also obsessed with
I
mixing.
love children.
Yeah.
What?
I said my daughter also obsessed with mixing things
Oh, yes,
and
it's
mixing
part of
color.
growing up.
Yeah, maybe when she grew up, she becomes something, right? Like,
She will.
scientists or like, I don't know, mixology. I don't know. There are a lot of mix, but she likes
It's
to make
cute.
experiment and making mess.
Well, they see the
Like, you can
transformation of it.
improve some of my paintings. So she got yelled for that. I said, anything you want to experiment on plain canvas. Don't go
Yes.
over my already like half painted
Oh,
canvases.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So since
Yeah.
then, Mommy, can I touch this? I said, yeah, okay, these are fine.
Oh, so you
First
know
of
when
all,
it's fun.
don't use oil painting because I can't clean it. And
Yeah.
I put something which I know if she wants to use it, that's fine, you know, I can, doesn't harm. So,
No,
but
no, you're smart. That's good.
yeah,
Yeah, that brings to mind a funny story.
yeah. So,
Uh, I still have my
so,
mother's easel, and when I
oh,
was little, I couldn't have been more than 4 foot tall. I was grabbing her paints and painting on the back of the easel, and she never noticed it. Well,
yeah.
one day she was doing a portrait of someone, and I thought, well, that needs a mustache. For some reason, I painted a mustache on this portrait. It was almost finished, and it was a commission.
Oh, goodness gracious.
I will never forget those angry faces looking down on me.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And that's not something you can fix it. She has to repaint the whole
She
thing.
had to do a new one. She couldn't get
Oh,
rid of the stain of this mustache here.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Same thing.
Terrible.
My daughter also messed up couple of, and now she knows she can. But like,
Okay.
you know, before no, she messed up couple of my painting.
Oh no.
Yeah.
She's collaborating.
Yeah.
I
So this
know.
painting, it's quite different from the rest of your style. Would you explain why?
Oh, it's probably more recent. I think I did that last month.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
and the one I'm working on now has more brushstroke like this. So I might be just going back to my brushstroke era.
Yeah.
But it's a beautiful night scene of a country house, those stone houses, those farmhouses. And it's by the sea. And the foreground has this little stone rim. I don't see it here, but I have an opening right there. So when you look at the painting, to me, of course, I'm always under some kind of delusion, but I feel like I am standing next to someone that's going to go right in the painting. I
Oh,
feel like there's a presence standing at that opening and going in there.
okay. Is it
Isn't that
creepy?
weird? I've never had that
Yeah.
sensation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a strange. Every time I look at it, I get that feeling.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, very interesting. I love it.
okay, Fleur.
And then see, from that, we come to this. You see, like you have different world.
Oh
Each
yeah.
thing has like
Well,
completely
the
open up
grapes.
different world.
Yeah, I don't know. I just it's all my work though. I don't know. This,
Yeah.
of course, I made up. I made up the one with the figure completely. The one to the right is based on actual vines that I saw. I added the sea. This vineyard, this vineyard is near the sea, so I put a little horizon line there.
Yeah. Okay.
But the one on the left with the figure, I just referenced paintings I had already done to compose these grapes and the leaves, which are huge in relation to the figure, but oh
Yeah.
well, that's okay.
Wow. Wow. Beautiful, beautiful work.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I really enjoy it. Then I see more grapes, and so.
Yes. Yeah.
Uh, and what is this figure?
Oh, this
I
is
did rabbit.
Joan of Arc.
Okay.
Joan of Arc um, with her armor, which I
Oh,
researched, so that should be correct. And the rabbit, who knows why? I don't know. It's a contrast. It's like
okay.
nature and humans with their armor on. It's kind of
Wow.
that kind of
Okay.
theme. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Interesting. And the armor has like a bat wings
I
almost.
know. This is researched. I did not make that up.
Yeah. I'm wondering why. I have to look into it.
Yeah, during her time.
Yeah, probably
Yeah.
has some symbolic meaning to that.
I bet it is. Yeah. Yeah.
This is the end of our conversation almost, Fleur. I know like
Oh,
so much to talk, and I searched some of your work, and I see like in Artsy and so different places that and I think this is one of the exhibition, Conan exhibition you're part of.
yeah, this is through April, through
Yeah.
the end of April. And I will be there this Saturday from 1 to 5 to just meet the artist afternoon. So anyone that can come, I know
Oh,
it's Portsmouth, New Hampshire, but
yeah. A
anyway,
beautiful city, by the way. Whoever
I
goes
love
there,
it. You've been
that's
there?
my favorite city.
Oh, well, if you come, you have to come up to the studio. Let me
Yeah,
know.
I was there last summer. And I
Oh,
didn't know
okay.
you. So, but this summer we may come because I'm taking my daughter to North Conway, New Hampshire,
Oh,
because there's a lot of kids stuff.
oh yeah.
Yeah, I
Oh,
definitely. Yeah,
well,
I
you'll
will.
pass me if you go to North Conway. I'm right between North Conway and Portsmouth, so
Yeah,
you
yeah,
must
yeah,
stop by. Yeah, I
yeah.
love
I
to meet your
definitely.
daughter too.
Yeah, she would love to. She likes that.
Oh,
Yeah,
that'd be fun.
definitely. If I come this summer, I'll stop by. I didn't know last year. Last year I spent a whole day there.
Oh,
And then
nice.
you're in Artsy, so we see some of your work in Artsy. And
Hmm.
overall, your website also quite astonishing, and your work are beautiful.
Thank you.
Each
Thank
one
you.
has its own worth and its own story and its own, like, glory in a sense. And
Thank you.
I love your style. Beautiful, beautiful work.
Thank you very
Uh,
much.
yeah, thank you, Fleur. Do you have any last word for our fellow member and fellow artists before we finish our discussion?
Oh, well, I'm so happy to be a member, and I'm really looking forward to connecting with my fellow artists. And it's really important because up here I did become kind of isolated. But anyway, yes, thank you so much. It was so nice to get to know you a little bit better and have a interesting conversation.
Yeah, thank you very much. We really appreciate and hope to see you soon. Thank you.
Yes, definitely. If not New York, up here.
Yes.
Thank you.